Hey everyone. All right, so in this video, let's discuss what's happening with Pixar Pier. I got a great question from a subscriber. I'm going to read you the question and then we're going to dig right in. So the question comes from Mr. Joel Padilla Jr. Hey, really enjoy your videos. My question for future Q&A is, I recently read that Pixar Play Parade would be going to Disneyland Park and that Paint the Night would return to DCA in 2018. How come there hasn't been any more noise surrounding the transformation of Paradise Pier into Pixar Pier, especially with it being less than a year from its debut? Thanks. Hope you pick up my question. Well, thank you, Joel. I appreciate the question. It's a great one. And I actually have been thinking and wondering the same thing lately myself. Judging from the little bit of concept art that we received at D23, it seems like, you know, the facade work, at least based on the concept art, is pretty substantial. Okay, it's a complete new facade essentially in that little concept art they showed us. Now that might not pan out. You know, concept art isn't, you know, etched in stone. But, you know, I mean, it certainly seems like it would take more than 4 or 5 months to complete that. The other big thing, the other big factor is that in the concept art, it shows that one of the shops, or maybe it's the games, I'm not really sure, are gonna, you know, it's gonna be converted into a theater. So they have to change the facade, they gotta convert the theater, they have to turn all of California Screamin', retheme that entire attraction and the queue to The Incredibles. And if Mice Age is accurate, which they have a pretty solid record most of the time, but if they're accurate, they're also gonna add a, like a spinner, like an Incredibles spinner ride in that empty area over by the California Screamin' queue. So all that facade work, you know, all the remodeling of the stores, adding the theater, remodeling California Screamin', adding the spinner ride, and they're probably gonna have to reimagine and remodel the carousel. We don't know what's going to happen with the fun wheel, if it's going to be Pixar. They have a lot of work to do, and they haven't even started any of it. There's like no construction at all. So I am really worried, and I'm not so much worried that they're not going to make it, that they're not going to hit their deadline. I'm more worried that this is indicative. It's kind of a sign that this retheming or reskinning of Paradise Pier is going to be done on the cheap. Because if they can finish this whole thing in like 3 or 4 months, that doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right at all. I mean, Mission Breakout was a completely different situation. It was one attraction, one building, you know, and they essentially repainted the outside, and you know, they did some pretty major work on the inside, but that was one building. So it was a little more understandable that they can finish that in like 4 or 5 or 6 months. But a whole pier, remodeling and retheming an entire, that whole back area, where you're talking multiple attractions, multiple stores, multiple entities, you know, at play here, and they're gonna finish all that in just a few months. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I'm worried. I am. I hope that Imagineering can knock a home run and this Pixar Pier turns out to be fantastic. I do. I love DCA. I root for this park. I am a DCA cheerleader. I want it to succeed. I want this new retheme to do really, really well. But with this tiny window, I'm not sure how how great it's going to look. And again, the concept art isn't like etched in stone. So the concept art that we got at D23 doesn't mean that's exactly what we're gonna get. But does that mean that the facades aren't gonna change? They're just gonna repaint them and add some Pixar signage? I don't know if I'm really down for that. So I don't know. And I don't want to be super negative. I'm trying to be cautiously optimistic. It just, the window doesn't seem like a big enough window to finish anything of decent quality. Okay, so, but hey, I am open to being wrong. I hope in this circumstance I am wrong. I hope Disney knocks a home run with Pixar Pier because I love DCA. I think it's a great little park and I want it to succeed. From what I understand, DSNY, great channel. If you guys aren't subscribed to them, go ahead, give them a subscribe. It's DSNY Newscast. He advised me that basically in January, that's when they're going to start like the brunt or the work on Pixar Pier. So, and he's solid. He has really good sources, and so if it's January, you're talking February, March, April, May, like June, maybe July. Only 5 or 6 months to hammer this whole thing out. Not a whole lot of time. So yeah, I am worried, but we'll see what happens. We will see. It might turn out fantastic. But what about you guys? Are you worried about this window? Are they gonna be able to finish this Pixar Pier in a substantial, well done way before it's supposed to open in the summer of 2018? Or are you like me? Are you really worried that that's not a whole lot of time? So we'll see what happens. But thank you, Joel, for the question. I really do appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for your support. Like, subscribe. I do content on Disney all the time. And as always, have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.